And that goes in the lecture hall, as well as in the workplace, as well as even at home. Sometimes I ask my kids to ask questions, but they ask a lot of questions, and every now and then I say, no more questions, right? But you must ask questions, and there's a way of asking questions. Do it politely, do it diplomatically, but ask questions. Challenge yourselves by doing things outside your comfort zones. Try new things. Try and make friends outside of the community, outside of your community. Right? That would be my other word of advice. And I guess the biggest thing that I can say is, if possible, and practical, and affordable. 3 things: possible, practical, and affordable. And if you've got the capacity and the capability, my biggest piece of advice would be, is try and travel the world. Right? See the world. Expose yourself to new cultures, new people, new communities, new languages, new systems. There is no substitute for that education. There's one thing reading about it, there's one thing seeing it on the television or seeing it on social media, and there's one whole other experience of actually seeing it yourself. Right? I was fortunate enough and humbled enough to live abroad in the University of California. After that, me and my friends, we traveled the world, mainly in Central America. Right? That experience also changed me. These people, I studied the Cuban Revolution, I studied the CIA covert operations of the drug cartels through Mexico, Guatemala to America. I studied it in a book. But then afterwards, I actually went to these places. I visited them, right? Met these people, lived with them, spoke to them. That education is invaluable. Right? So that would be my other advice, is see the world if you can. How many of you are single? Right, before you get married, take that word of advice, because once you're married, that becomes impossible. Right? So that's another piece of advice I would say. And of course, I'm going to end by saying, working is important. Working is important for a whole host of reasons. It keeps your mind sane, it gives you a source of income that you need to sustain everyday life. And it's an ideal to work in a profession that also becomes your hobby, i.e. you wake up every morning and you don't mind going to work, because for you it's not work. I'm fortunate enough that the work I do, I see it as a hobby. I go, I spend time with my students, I lecture, I read, I come back to my family, and for me, I don't mind that. Right? How many of you love or like what you do in terms of your job? Okay, there are a few hands. How many of you work because you need an income, you need a salary? Right? That's the reality for most people, right? Around the world, not just in the UK. If you can get that job, that dream, where it's not a job, it's more of a hobby, it's a vocation, it's a passion, right? And it's not easy to do that. That's what I would aspire you towards. That's what I would wish for all of you to do. So I'm going to stop talking now, because there's nothing more for me to say. I'm trying to pass on some of my experiences, but of course I'm going to spend some time now over the next hour or so speaking to you guys, because I learn from you all the time. Do stay in touch with me. Tariq and the fellow organisers do have my email. I'm happy to carry on this conversation. I wish you all the best for all your future adventures and endeavours, and I thank you once again for inviting me to this event. Assalamu alaikum.